Welcome to another episode of the Wholesaling Elite Podcast. My name is Isham Hipshire. I'm here with my co-host, Tanner Santucci. And today, I'm going to be like Jamil. Today is one of my favorite podcasts ever because I am really, this is going to be interesting, guys. This is the first podcast that myself has done where I'm interviewing someone that I don't know a lot about, but I know a lot of Raqi Zidane. So Raqi, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me. It's a blessing to be here. I truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Raqi, I just want to say, first of all, I love that you took the time out of your busy life and you graced us with doing this podcast in your freaking mansion. It looks like you got a log cabin going on or something. For you guys that can see this, the background's dope. Raqi said, man, when I came into this room, they just put this background on it. I don't know why.
It was like, it was a green screen. I said, no. They gave me this. I was like, I actually like this.
Yeah, that's kind of dope. I like that. It's nice to look at during the show, man.
That's right.
Good deal. Well, brother, welcome to the show. And again, I was saying earlier that you know we're not too familiar with each other. Matter of fact, this is our first time seeing each other live. But we connected through our community, Astro Flipping. We're both repping proudly. Astro is a community that Raqi and I both are a part of, and that's how we connected. And I just saw, man, over the past few months that I've been in this community and been really engaged, I've seen his flips. I've seen his passion for helping other people. I've seen just his, when he's on the Q&A call, the quality of questions. I'm like, this is a guy we've got to connect with. He's doing things. He's an A player. And so, man, more so than anything for our podcast, we're not necessarily too into the tactics. There's plenty of shows out there that'll give you the what's and the how to do all this stuff. And sure, we may cover over some of that stuff, but we really want to dig into the whys. We want to dig into the mindset of how you got to this level. So if you could start us off, man, kind of take us back, to the beginning of your story. Where do you come from? What's your deal?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me here. I truly appreciate it. And I'll make all the time in the world for you, brother. All right. So for those who don't know me, my name is Raqi Zidane. I am originally from Baghdad, Iraq. I am a war zone survivor. I've literally went through all war zones that a child could experience. I never went to school back home. Started working at the age of 10 years old.
Wow.
Me and my two brothers, of course, older than me, we all worked to support our families. It was so tough over there that you get, if you're 18 and older, or if they feel like you get the bones in your body, you get dragged to go to the military to fight at no cost. Like you don't get paid, you don't get food, you don't get nothing. You go train so you can just fight another country. It's just mind blowing, and it is so sad. My dad was the one that always got dragged to go fight in the battlefield, and he always managed to escape because he didn't want to fight. He said, "I'm not gonna harm anybody that's not harming my family." Long story short, fast forward to 1999, my dad had escaped, and they threatened him that he will be killed, pretty much. So he left the country on foot, and it took him like almost 6 days with no food, no drinks, just to escape the country on foot to go a different country. And then we got trapped because, of course, they know who you are, they know your family. So we were trapped until 2003, and our military, U.S. military, I'm proud to say that that's my military, because they came in and they rescued me and my family alongside with so many other families. So I'm forever grateful, and I thank everyone who served us. Now, fast forward to 2004, we reunited with our father, and then that was amazing because we got to see him. He got to see all of us, and we continue working because we never went to school until I worked in a barber shop. I was a short, tiny guy. In a barbershop in the Middle East, you don't move the chair around. That's disrespectful. The client should always look in the mirror and you move around so they always see what you're doing in case you mess up or anything like that. So I had a stool that I used to kick around because I was too short to see about the countertop. I moved the stool around and cut people hair, right? And fast forward to 2009, we were able to move to America, and we came to Clarkston here in Georgia, and we lived there for a year. It's a refugee pretty much complex where refugees get to go there and pretty much just get the hang of, hey, we're in America, right? You don't understand the language, you don't understand the culture, but you had to come in. And it all happened so fast that we come in here as 7 family members with only $600 in our pocket.
Wow.
Because we were supposed to be told 6 months in advance so we could sell our stuff. We were told 2 weeks prior. Literally after Christmas, they said, all right, you guys are going to America on the 8th of January.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we were like, what? That's crazy. Long story short, we moved here in 2009, January 20th, because we walked into New York airport and Barack Obama was giving his first speech. And that's why I remember that day, because I was like, what's going on? We had no idea, because they don't show you all these things in the Middle East. Like, all they show you about America is Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer.
Nice.
Jerry.
Yeah, but now, of course, now it's different, all that. So yeah, we lived in an apartment complex for a year. Then we immediately started working. Me and my 3 brothers. I was 18 at that time. They said, okay, Raqi's going to school with his 2 younger siblings. I'm like, whoa, school? No. I never went to school back home. I'm not going to go to school right now. So I was kind of hard-headed about it. My mom was like, hey, if you lost 8 years of your life, 10 years, don't lose it all. And I love my mom to death. Like, I would drop anything for her. So I was like, Mom, I'm not going to say no to you. I'll give it a try. But if I don't like it, I'm going to leave. She said, sure. So started working because I had gotten my Social Security. Then they put me in a school in March, I believe. I went to
How old were you again?
I was 18 at that time, and they put me in 9th grade.
Whew.
Everyone was 14 years old or 13 years old, right? My first day, I had sat in the class in an empty seat in the back because that was the only seat that was available. And the teacher asked me if I had a paper. And I honestly had no idea what she was saying. All she said is, do you have a paper? The reason why I remember this is because she kept on repeating it on slow. But if I don't understand the meaning, I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't know what you're saying. It's not you saying it fast. So I'm assuming she started asking me what do I speak? And all I said is no English. I didn't even know how to say I don't speak English. So I said, no English, no English. So she kept on saying this stuff until she said Arabic, which is the language I speak. I was like, yes. So a guy in the front turned around and he told me in Arabic, hey, she's asking you for a paper. I whipped out a paper. She was like, yes. I was like, oh, look at that. it. Then, I started going to school every day, and the kids in the class start every time they're asked, they'll be like, oh, we don't speak English, and they'll start laughing, right? So it never really hurt me because I started working at age of 10 in a barbershop. In a barbershop, you could just see everybody.
Right.
Poor, rich, bad, good, talkative, quiet, like literally everybody. You're just like colleges. You get to hear everybody's stories, So it never bothered me. I was like, you know what? These are kids, But my mentality was not at 18. My mentality was like probably 28 at that time for working in a barbershop. I was like, okay, we're going to learn English. So learn English, finish school. I played soccer, finished high school.
Did you have to do all 4 years starting at 18?
I actually did 3.
Okay.
So after I did the first year, I had worked something with the principal. I said, look, I understand you guys are keeping me here and all that, because I think you have until the age of 21 or 22 as a refugee to graduate. Mm-hmm. So, and after I learned, so I was learning like pretty good. So I was like going heavy. So he asked me to do the graduation test in my second year, because I did half semester, 9th grade, full semester, 10th grade, and then my 11th first semester in 11th grade, he asked me if I could take the graduation test, and if I passed, they'll move me to 12th grade, and I passed. So they moved me, and then that got going, and then I I finished high school and I got all my stuff done. And then I was like, wow, man, if I could do this, I think I can go to college. I went to college. I went for architecture engineer, and I was doing so good. I was doing all A's and B's, and of course, car accident happened. I got hit in the back of my head, and got disconnected. My arm got disconnected from my brain, my left arm. So I was dragging it around all the time for like 3 days until I started moving my fingers, and I knew the memory started coming back. Then I went back to school, but you get hit in the back of your head. It's not the same. I could not stare at the paper anymore. Like my head would hurt out of nowhere. I don't care how many Advil, how many Tylenol I take, it hurts. So I dropped out, and I continued working. Of course, I was working bakery at that time as a baker. So I continued working and everything, and then I was like, okay, I need to learn something that doesn't require a lot of paperwork or like head or like using my head a lot. I've always been very, very handy because I cut hair. So I got into maintenance. I moved from my supervision position in that bakery to maintenance department. I literally stepped down for it. And as I was learning, I went to an aviation school because only hands-on. So I became a certified aviation technician.
Nice.
So I'm working, fast forward. I graduated school in 2018. The aviation school, started doing contractor jobs and everything. And then Boeing Airline. Before that, I moved from the bakery, Masada Bakery, where I worked at, to King's Hawaiian in 2018, right after I graduated. Then a little bit after that, I got a job offer from Boeing Airline in North Charleston. They're like, hey, we want you. I was like, cool. That's what I went to school for. It's maintenance in general. Maintenance is maintenance, right? But I was at least I went to school to work for the airline. So not a whole lot benefits. It was a contract job for a year. And if they like me, they keep me. I never had a problem with people keeping me at a job because I work from my heart. I'm so ethical because I feel like if you're giving me a job, you're trusting me to do something, and then you pay me rightfully. So I always do it 100% from my heart. And before I walk into any workplace I worked at, I would stop there. I'd say a little prayer, and then I asked myself a question. I said, if I own this company, will I hire me? If it's a yes, I go into work. If it's a no, why? What needs to be fixed? Go in and fix it. Of course, that's on me. Like whatever I have problems with, I'm slacking. I'm taking 5 minutes longer breaks. It's not right. It doesn't matter if they pay me only 100%. I accepted this job. So that's how I see it. So 4 months into this job at King's Hawaiian, Boeing Airline calls me. They offer me $7 more than what I was making at King's Hawaiian. So 4 months at work, I don't expect anything. I walk into the manager. I say, hey, thank you so much for this amazing 4 months. I just want to let you know I got this opportunity. It's a lot more money, and I have 2 daughters. So every penny I make is going to be an extra food for them, extra clothes for them, because that's what I'm working for with my kids. He said, yeah, absolutely. I give him my 2 weeks notice. I go into work the next day. I get called to the office. I'm like, man, they're going to let me go. So I walked in, and he complimented how I work and how they like my potential and everything. And they beat the offer overnight, bro. That never happened. I've never seen that happen before. They gave me $8 more than what I was making at that job. I'm That's like, awesome. It's no brainer. My whole family's here. My parents here. My brother's here. My sister here. I love it here in Georgia. I was like, it's no brainer. I was like, I'm keeping it. But I was like, let me take the night off to think of course. I thought about it. I gave it a thought. I was like, okay, I'm staying. And COVID hit. Guess what happened to Boeing Airline? Shut down.
Oh, wow.
Laid up everybody. I was so thankful because I have 2 daughters. I had, like, in my head, I was like, man, I had to come home and tell my daughters, daddy ain't got no job. Man, it was hurting me even though I had a job. We never stopped working here at King's Hawaiian. So that when I said, what can I do that can bring money without me having to work? I can't write a book. I'll probably be cussing in the book.
Preach.
I was like, what is the one thing that I can do at least one time that generates money constantly? I come across real estate. I did trade the stock market. I do really good with the stock market. I love like numbers and charts, but stock market is, to me, is still active job, and you can't really predict it.
Right.
And you can hold on to something. How long are you gonna hold on to it? If it dips, you're gonna be stressed out. You're gonna lose your hair.
Sure.
You're gonna be like 10 years. You're gonna age 10 years in like 3 days. As a
Right.
stock market. So I came across real estate. I started learning. That's in 2020 in May.
Okay.
I started learning about it. A friend of mine here from 2009 was already in real estate. So he heard that I'm learning about it. He was like, "Hey, let's come in. I'll mentor you. 1, 2, 3. It's only $100 a month." I was like, "Cool." We got into a mentorship. You don't know how people are until you work with them.
Very true.
So, and the man I am, I don't say names or I don't talk bad about others. What happened yesterday happened yesterday. Fast forward, no comments. We split apart because it's so stupid. A friend of 12 years will ditch you when you need him.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm a student. Like, I don't know,
Gosh,
But then
man.
I was like, screw it all, I've always learned on my own. It doesn't hurt. I landed my first deal in November. So that was my first lead in June. And I was following up every single week. And that's how the journey started.
So how did you
Go ahead.
How did you find real estate, or how did you come across real estate? Because I know you said you just kind of, you were looking for something to make some extra money, and then you jumped into real estate. But how did you find real estate? Was there,
when COVID hit, social media exploded because now a lot of people sit home, right? And so I was on YouTube because that's how I learned maintenance really good, is YouTube, right? So I was on YouTube and I was how to make money. Really, I was getting a lot of Amazon and automation, but that's, you have to put in the work every day. I was like, I don't want to do that. That's the thing. And then I come across Jerry Norton.
Nice.
And I was like,
well, Jerry,
that's interesting. And first video I looked at was he was doing the 10K club at that time. And I was like, $1,000 doesn't hurt me. If I need money, I'll work another job. I get an Uber, become an Uber driver and make $1,000 in 2 weeks and call it a day. We're even. I joined, and that's how I started learning more about it. 10K Club was really good because it offers proof of funds and stuff like that. And of course, it's got its own good stuff for the $1,000. It was worth it, right? Especially for somebody getting started. And January 2021, there was an Atlanta meetup. This guy named Pace and this guy named Jamil. All right, doesn't hurt to look people up. I looked Jamil up. I looked Pace up. And I was like, okay, I'll go because during that time I was learning that connecting with others is the key in real estate.
100%.
And me being a people person, I was like, no brainer. Never been a problem for me. I go over there and I'm talking to every single body. There is only probably 2 people that were not wholesalers. And then everybody else was like pretty much wholesaling, right? And Jamil walks in, Pace walks in, everybody, right? They talked, and I walk up, I talk to Pace, I talk to Jamil, right? And it clicked immediately with Jamil. I was like, I like this guy. I like his energy. We literally matched the same energy. So I was like, Jamil, how can I learn about this? He said, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I said, say less. Shot him a DM, spoke to him, then I spoke to Nino. And I was like, okay, cool. You know what? I'll join. This is what I told Kenneth, I think I spoke to when I was joining Astro. I say, all right, Kenneth, here's what's going to happen. You're going to send me a contract that's legit. I am not going to give you the full amount for the mentorship. I'm going to give you 3 payments, 1 payment every month. Here's what's going to happen. The first month I pay, the first payment I pay, if I see anything that's not what you said to me, what you stated, I am calling my bank. I was like, hey, these guys are stealing, cancel my account. He said, and he was cracking up. I say, but I tell you what, I make the most of everything. I say,
closed the closer.
Exactly.
You closed their closer.
That's it. I say, I make the most of everything. You give me apple, either I eat it or I make apple juice. That's it. It was like, cool. So I got in. I went over the week 1, the mindset, which is very helpful. I suggest everybody who start, or even like if you started, just go back and watch the mindset over and over if you want. It's really good. It was helpful. And then I was moving. I had closed 2 deals at that time before Astro. Man, I joined Astro and to the moon. I was closing deals left and right. I had worked with agents before and everything, but everything in the course that had helped me so much. So I got in and I was rocking and rolling that year, 2021. I was killing it. I was closing 16,000 wholesales. At that time, that wasn't like, oh my God, that's before, the market boomed big. I started closing 37,000 wholesale assignments and everything. And I just kept on going. And then
do you remember how many deals you did that year?
I know I can tell you I made probably 85,000 within 6 months after I joined.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was big. I've never made that money working the job.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, and then in 2022 in January, I started helping Astro students here. So every Sunday from 10 to 1 or 2, I'll take time from my family, my kids, my life, and I meet at a coffee shop and invite everybody within that week. Guys, we're meeting at this address at this time. Come on, let's talk real estate. And then they come and we talk real estate, and then I help them with whatever they need help. We share. Of course, we learn every day. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. We're all students. So even the new guy that comes to the table, I learn from them. It could be anything in life, So we talk real estate a majority of the time. We talk like mindset. We help each other. Like, I help I help others like with their schedule. Like, okay, sleep faster. You don't need to sleep 8 hours for you trying to make a difference. You sleep when you're rich. That's what I tell them. I was like, I sleep. Well, in high school, I slept 3 hours for 3 years because I worked, I played soccer, and I went to school. Right. So if I know that I need to get things done, 3 hours is all I need, and I'm Batman. I'm like up and going. Like, you can beat me, I'm still gonna get up, right? And I tell people, I was like, look, you sleep when you're rich. For now, I'm rich in the heart. When I'm rich in the bank like that and the assets, I'll sleep. Okay. For now, we sleep 3, 4, 5 hours, no more than 5 hours. If you really want to make a difference, sleep faster. That's it. Don't sleep less. Sleep faster. It's called mindset. If you say sleep less, like, oh man, I'm gonna be tired. I'm like, hey, sleep faster. That's it. You get up about your business.
I like that.
Do your thing.
I like that. That's awesome, man. So how is your business looking now? I mean, since let me ask you this then. Since you have been willing to, start these meetups and start, bringing in and having these conversations, meeting with other wholesalers, Astro students in Atlanta, how has that impacted your business?
It's great. Danny Harrison, you guys know about him.
Absolutely.
Danny is 20 years old. He showed up when he found me, like you found me in the Astro Flipping. He said, I'm coming to the meetup. This guy was working Sundays at 1 o'clock. He was there every Sunday at 10 o'clock. He showed up every week. I walked literally like he was brand new. I walked him through everything I learned, of course, everything I know. And, we learn together as we go forward. And how it impacted me, Danny and I buying properties right now. we're literally buying properties, not just flips. We're holding assets. We have Airbnb that should be going live soon. We have a flip. We're gonna make a triple-digit flip on it. Like
Nice.
Very
literally,
nice.
it's yeah. You don't make this in Atlanta. Like even in a good market, you would make probably 80,000. We're like nailing this to the wall because the way we approached it, the way we purchased it, and that was an agent outreach. So agent outreach works.
So how long from the time you started wholesaling to when you purchased your first property?
So 2021 is when I wholesaled the most. 2020, the first 4 months were just learning experience.
Right.
2021, I was wholesaling pretty much the whole year. 2022, March this year, I bought my first triplex.
Very nice.
Actually, this is how I went about it. Right. I don't read books because I never finished the books. I read if it attracts me, I start reading. Once I learn something, I go put it to work.
Right.
I don't finish the book. I go put it to work immediately. And I was reading a book from Brandon Tanner, the bearded guy from Bigger Pockets, and he was talking about exponential growth, where don't focus on buying 16 units right now, or don't focus on buying like 10 single family. If you want assets, buy a duplex. Next year, buy a quadplex. The year after, buy 8 units. So you double down the year before, right? And then my goal was to retire at 40, 10 years. Now my goal is to retire at 35 because of that book. And the reason why I said that is because I calculated, if I buy a duplex this year, quad next, 8 units, third year, fourth unit, 16, fifth unit, 32, the income that this is going to be generating, I will retire. And not me. I'm doing this to make sure my kids are well taken care of. And number one is to make sure my parents don't have to work ever again. That's why I need to get to that 32 units, right? Then I saw a quote from Elon Musk, right? He said, if you have a 10 years goal, try to do it in 1 year. You will fail 100%, but you'll be 3-4 years closer.
Right.
You put so much. You don't put the 1 year work. You put 5 years work in that 1 year. You're going to be a lot closer. And I'm like, man, why am I just so focused on the duplex? Let's open it up and see where we're going to be at. Landed a triplex immediately. Literally the same month.
Holy cow.
You just got to tell yourself, I can do it. That's it. And you'll be able to do it. And I landed a triplex. That triplex was listed for $220. I negotiated before I went there at $195 because it makes sense based on the numbers. I go to the property. I see so many issues. I negotiated down to $150. Then I got an inspector out there, and he found something I didn't see. I negotiated down all the way to $143.
Very nice.
$143,000. That's in Columbus, Georgia. So in Columbus, Georgia, you would get them cheap like that, like for probably $200, $250 renovated, but the rent is good. The rent is always going to be more than 1%.
So are you only looking to acquire, in terms of buying assets and buying property, are only looking to acquire multifamily, or do you purchase any single family?
That's a great question. And mainly multifamily. The reason why is because if I have 4 units, I have 4 income. If one moves out, I'm only losing 25% of the income, not 100% of a single family house. Second, I have 1 maintenance, 1 roof, 1 landscaping, not 4 different ones. So it's less maintenance, less hassle. Let's just put it that way. Because again, all units into one building, you already know that you only got 1 roof, 1 landscaping, 1 maintenance guy that does everything. And they don't have to travel and you have to pay them for commuting from one building to another. So yes, however, I did shift my mind a little bit to acquire Airbnb single family houses. In Georgia, I would for sure. I think I'm expanding to Florida, but the hurricane kind of scared me away. But that's the thing. That's life. Anything can happen. So my main focus was to go to Nashville because I read about it, Nashville, and I saw the numbers and it made so much sense. So now it's Nashville on top and then Florida. Single family homes.
Very nice.
If I can jump in and just get I know that there's listeners from all kinds of ranges and experiences and whatnot, to this show specifically. But I want to kind of go back to your first deal, and I noticed something really interesting. So you got involved in real estate in May of 2020, right? And you said you got your first lead in June. So your first lead came about a month later, and your first deal closed in November. So just a few months after that. I know a lot of folks, and I, hey, look at that. Yeah, we got a wolf in the house. What's up, Wolf Scout?
Let me get this pass out, please.
My son's in Cub Scout, so and I'm heavily involved as well. So
yeah, she just got from school and she gives me loves when she gets here. So
that's
she doesn't
amazing, bro. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So anyways, the new wholesalers getting started. I remember listening to podcasts when I first got started, and I would hear, the conversations that we were just talking about, these multifamilies and all this. And I don't want to say it caused confusion for me, but it was just like, it was opening my eyes, like, wow, like what, the potential is so crazy. But one of the things I did was I just knew from life experience that, man, I got to stay focused. I got to stay focused and just get this first deal done. So where was your mindset at? Because, man, it seems like, through your upbringing, you've overcome a lot of adversity. So you already came, armed with the shield of no's, like your no repellent was on full. I'm pretty sure that your first no, you didn't just crumple down after, hearing the story of the adversity that you and your family overcame coming from Baghdad. And so you've got that, you've got the accountability. Where was your mindset at that allowed you to stick in there? Did you get depressed along the way? Were you ever like, man, this isn't going to happen? Or were you just like, I'm going to keep doing it until it happens? Walk us through that first deal.
Absolutely. Again, you brought a good point about me coming from Baghdad and the war zones. I could sit over here and play a victim and make everybody cry for me and they feel bad for me. Or I could be on a survivor mode all the time and be like, if I survived all that, somebody tells me, no, it ain't going to hurt me. I've lived with rejections all my life. I had nothing. I had nothing to eat and nothing to drink for days. So this is nothing. And then I've gotten a lot as a new investor in the real estate, right? Oh, people are gonna cuss you out. People are gonna tell you no. So what? My theory, my mindset was this: whoever cussed me out, whoever says no to me, whoever just yells at me, I'm never ever going to meet these people. Why am I so afraid of talking to them? Why am I so afraid of rejections if I'm never gonna meet them? If I ever meet these people, it's for a good cause. That's because we closing.
Right.
That's exactly what I told myself. And of course, my why helped a lot.
Absolutely.
And that's how I see it. If for those who get started and start again and stop or quit or like never get started, my number one advice is up your why. Up your why. And the best way to do this, you don't need to pay a personal trainer, personal coach. Simple. Get up in the morning, write down 3 names. 3 names. Could be kids, your mom, your grandma, whoever. 3 names. Write them down and ask yourself a couple of questions. Take 15 minutes of those days. Just 15 minutes to answer your questions. Your question should be, if I quit, however, how bad it will be for them. Whatever you're doing it for those 3 names. If I quit, what's going to happen? How much is going to affect their lives? Did my mama have to work until she retires so she can get 100,000 in her account that she can blow right through within 3 months? Take 5 minutes talking negative only because it's good to remind yourself if you quit, what happens. Then take the next 10 minutes when I make it. But there's two words over here I'm going to highlight later on. When I make it, how much impact I'm going to make on their lives. Those 3 names. Can I actually attend my Girl Scout meetings? Or I'm going to have to be at work? But when you make it, you will attend all these meetings. Showing up to your kids is so important. We might not feel it, but for them, it's big. Being there for your mama when she's sick. Take her to the doctor. Being there for your dad, regardless of the relationship. You say, Dad, no matter what, you're still my father. And I love you to death. And I want to do this for you. I don't want you to work for somebody. You don't want to sit home and be lazy? Fine. Look, this is a card for you. And this is a credit card for car expenses. Go collect rent. Go make sure the landscape is done. Go make sure the exterior of these buildings are good. Go knock at the door, make sure these tenants are well taken care of. For 10 minutes, the 2 words I want to highlight is every time you want to talk about something negative, you want to say if. If I quit. Now, it's an optional for you to quit because if you quit, not when you quit. But I also, when I talk positive, I say when I make it. Not if I make it. If I make it, you're limiting yourself. Oh, well, if I make it, I make it. No. When I make it, when I make $100,000, when I make $1 million, not if. But you see, it's just 2 words. But if you say, if I make $1 million, I'll do this. No, when I make $1 million, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy whatever. I'm going to buy a new watch. Who cares?
But yeah, I saw.
It's when.
I want to kind of bounce something off, kind of rebuttal, not even rebuttal, I guess just add on to what you're saying with the if part. I actually saw something the other day where instead of saying, whenever you're thinking to yourself about something, don't say what if, say even if. Tell yourself even if. What if I fail versus even if I fail? Even if I fail, I can use that as a learning lesson. But if you tell 100%. Yourself, what if I fail, then that's where the doubt and the fear comes in.
100%.
So I love the fact that you were saying, kind of use that if and think past that, not just use that as a stopping point or a roadblock mentally. So
100%.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I like that even. I like that kind of levels up because I love taking notes, Raqi, during these conversations, and I was writing down if equals doubt, when equals certainty. And I like, Tanner, what you said as far as the even if, because it just adds that next level of just asking yourself and challenging yourself. So that's really good. Raqi, I love that. So ask what would happen if I quit, and then what will happen if I make it. And then kind of interchange those if and those wins to really get the truth out of that. Was there a third one?
That's all I use.
Awesome.
When something is if somebody talks to me bad, it is what it is, right? And now I'm making an option in my head. And then when is like when I make this deal, I'm gonna buy a brand new watch. I'm gonna go get my car detailed. And one thing about me that helped me out through my journey in life in general, especially being in school not speaking English, is every time you complete a task, reward yourself. However, if you need a new pants, do not buy new pants. Put a task. Okay, I'm going to buy a new pants if I clean my yard.
I like that.
If I'm going to buy a new pair of shoes, when I get my car cleaned myself. So put a task. It just helps you stay encouraged and stay consistent. Like, okay, cool. If I need to get this cup of coffee, I need to make $10 extra an hour because that's $5 from Starbucks. The only difference between me and the other guy is I don't go to Starbucks to buy $5 coffee. I just get the one for free. It's not fancy, but it doesn't work. So put task. Always put a task to anything you want to achieve. So if you want a new computer, like I would love a setup. I don't need it really, but a setup is nice. So now my job now is like, okay, cool. Do I want to set up? Of course I want to set up. Why not? Everyone wants to set up. It's just nice walking into it. Now I got to put a task to that. What is my task? Buy another multifamily.
Nice.
Then
no, go ahead.
On my big old setup with 3 different monitors. Every unit is one monitor.
So when you're looking at your goals and these tasks, do you break them down backwards, or do you say, hey, that's what I want to achieve, or that's what I want to buy, and then you strategize from there, or do you look at that, say, I want to buy this multifamily, what's it going to take to buy that multifamily? So you work that backwards and you break it down.
Correct, 100%. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and goals without steps are just goals. You break it down into small steps. Very small steps.
So I'm sorry. So these steps, I'm just trying to pick your brain on this because it's intriguing. So these steps that you're breaking down, when you break them down into small steps, you break them on daily steps, weekly steps. Are you what increments technically are you looking towards?
It should be weekly steps when you buy in big units, because time kills all deals. With multifamily, however, buying the wrong deal will kill you. You wanna space it out, calculate your numbers correctly. It's all once you get into multifamily, it's all number games. It's no longer this house, whatever happens to it, I refinance. No, it's all number games. These numbers will make it or break it. And if you guys remember, Jamil just lost like $470,000 on EMD because he walked away, which is very smart. But if he would have gone and bought that deal, he would be stressed forever.
For sure.
Smart move, right? Smart move. So it's stuff like this. But of course, that can't be calculated overnight. You really got to take a week to go over it. So yeah, of course, he was like, okay, I'm going to spend the whole week finding the right location. Once I find that location within that week, I'm going to find the safety of that. I'm going to find what's around, job growth, population growth, real estate growth, what's in there. You just don't want to go buy and there's no population growth, right? The reason why I buy in Columbus is, even though Columbus is not as great, but it's the second biggest city in Georgia after Atlanta. So somebody's renting all the time. So right. Yes, I break it down into steps. Depends on the deal, or depends on the goal. It's going to be a daily steps or weekly steps.
So let me ask you this then, since this is primarily a wholesale podcast, essentially, what if someone was just getting into wholesale, they just saw it like YouTube or whatever it is, and they had 30 days to do a deal? What are some simple action steps you would tell someone if they had 30 days to get a deal and they're brand new?
Consistent. If you're doing agent outreach, call agents every single day.
How many should they call?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah. I love that answer.
You need 4 hours on your business, not in your business. You need 4 hours on your business to make a difference. In 4 hours, now I can make 50 offers easy. Probably it's taking me a lot less, but you need 4 hours on your business, following up, calling agents, comping properties, analyzing deals. The night before, set what you're going to do the next day. Do not wake up and start planning for your day, because that's not going to work. Remember, what you want to do is you want to write 3 names down when you wake up in the morning. Do your prayers, go to the gym, take a cold shower, whatever your routine is. You should not be planning your day. Planning your day should be the day prior. You wake up and you want to go bananas. Hammer that day. Just go in, consistent, call agents, call wholesalers, call sellers, direct to sellers, whatever your strategy is. 4 hours, consistent job. Turn off your phone.
So do you have a consistent daily schedule that you go off of, or you kind of just you kind of think whatever the night before is like, I need to get this done throughout the day, or do you have a strict schedule?
I don't have a strict schedule. One thing about me is I still work my job as a maintenance technician. Because it aligns with what I'm doing right now, and I'm at a job right now where it doesn't require me to do much by being in the computer, unless I have to go to the machine. So really, even though if I plan my next day, like I'm gonna comp 50 properties, I've already comped my work. So that gives me a little benefit, of course, because, of the journey I'm at. So, but yes, like on my days off, I plan my days. Okay, the night before, I know exactly what I'm gonna do the next day. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna take my cold shower, say my prayers, write down my three names every single day. I don't write them once a week. I don't care if the names never change. I write them down every single day, so it's printed here and it's printed in my heart. And I go, okay, plan my day. Okay, cool. Tomorrow I'm gonna go door knocking in my neighborhood. It's crazy. Did you know that actually I sold 4 properties in my neighborhood?
Oh, wow.
Holy cow.
Nobody would ever think about this, And you want to door knock, you want to draft $4, you want to call agents, plan that. Be straightforward. This is exactly what I'm going to do the first 4 hours. I tell my kids and my spouse, like, hey, phone is going off. I'm using my phone to call only if I need it. That's it. That 4 hours, I'm laser focused, and you will be amazed how much you can do in 4 hours. The best way it works for me is 55 minutes of working, five minutes of gratitude and break. I do not do 4 hours straight. 55 minutes of teaching, working, 5 minutes break. When I take my break, I don't go on social media. I don't go on my phone. I get up, crack the window open since I'm at home. Breathe, man. God wakes you up today. Enjoy this. There's a tree. It's green here in Georgia all the time.
Right.
Enjoy that fresh air,
Let me ask, because I love hearing stuff like this, I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to ask someone this live, because I always heard these kind of things on podcasts, and I wanted to jump in and ask, were you always like this, or did this evolve over time in your real estate business? Was it like from week one, you were writing down your goals and you were taking, your 5-minute break after 55 minutes, or did this evolve over time?
I think I've always had it in me. But when you only work a job, you don't need to plan because they planned it for you. Hey, you got to clock in at 12. Guess what? You got to clock in at 12.
Right.
No matter what you do. I think getting into real estate, and especially into wholesaling, because in wholesaling, you really got to be laser focused. You really got to do the work to get paid for. That's all, you have to be very consistent. So I think it all evolved with being a wholesaler in my first year. And but yeah, like I said, consistency is the key, because if I wouldn't have followed up 4 months with that lead, I would have never closed.
Right. I love it. I love follow-up, man. Follow-up is, I don't even want to say it's underrated. I think at this point, people have heard fortunes in the follow-up enough that you just need to overcome the fear, or there's some lack of certainty that you are experiencing that's keeping you from following up, if you are. And if that's it starts by being honest with yourself, recognizing that, but then taking action on it, realizing, like Raqi said, you're not going to die. You're going to be fine. No one's going to come through the phone and hurt you. You're going to learn through these experiences. When you do follow up and you say something wrong, or you're thinking about a different property, and maybe you don't have good notes yet for follow up, and you're afraid to call this person back because you don't really remember the details of this deal.
Mm-hmm.
Get over all that stuff. Just take action on it. And it's funny, the more action you take, the more bulletproof you become. And then you start to learn these systems and get better at being more organized. But if you feel like you've got to get all that stuff beforehand, before you go, I can relate to that. I'm just here to tell you it's safe to just jump. Just go for it. You'll be okay. I promise.
100%. Take the risk. Learn one thing or another and just go put it to work. Don't learn the whole book. Don't read the whole book. Read the first chapter and go to work. It's no book, no podcast, no YouTube channel, no mentorship will teach you what you learn in the field.
100%.
It will not. That's just simple. They will show you what not to do. That's very important. But what to do is you're gonna learn that in the field. Take action. Don't consume everything. Consume something and go put it to work. See how it works for you. If not, improve. That's all about improvement. Every day we get better. We're students every day. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, you'll learn every day.
Absolutely.
You know what I love you said earlier, and then what you both just said just kind of reminded me is that you said you don't finish books. You read what you need to almost get out of it, whatever you take out of it, and then you put the book away. Like, okay, I read what I needed to read. I saw what I needed to see. I'm just going to go take action. I'm going to go do whatever, I already grasped. There's a reason I picked that book, or there's a reason I picked that podcast or that YouTube video. And it's like me, I'm almost the same way if I'm looking up a YouTube video, I'm trying to learn something. I'll literally just watch the YouTube video until I learn what I needed to learn.
That's it.
And then it's exit out of the YouTube video and then go take the action, right? And then if I need to go back to the YouTube video, I'll go back or whatever it is. But I love the fact that you said, and it just clicked to me when you were just like, I read books, but I don't finish books because I read what I need to read. So
correct.
Big fan of that. I'm a big fan.
That is so funny. We went to our Airbnb yesterday, and we were getting new countertops, and the guy was disconnecting the water, right? And he said, hey, I can't disconnect the water lines because your shutoff valves are not working. And I'm not going to shut off the main water line because that's liability. If somebody turn it back on, you're going to have a flood. I was like, cool. I couldn't get a handyman in place, but guess who is? Somebody. I'm a technician. I literally went there and I got a compressed fittings, right, for the copper line, for the shutoff valves. And I missed a step. I was like, this is not right. I pulled out the YouTube video. I literally watched 1 minute of the 5 minutes, and I saw exactly what I need to get out of it. I'm done. Right. Just like you said, Tanner, that's it. Get what you need out of it and go to work.
I think that's a good lesson for not only new wholesalers or new anyone in the business, but just anyone in general. I think that's a really good lesson for someone to learn is, sure, take the time to learn, almost the bare minimum. Take the time to learn what you need to learn and then go take the action. Because like you said, when you're in the field, you're going to learn. If you have a whole year of analysis paralysis and you start working on your first deal and you get it under contract, you're going to forget all about that first year. And you're still going to be like, what do I need to do next? And so I don't know. It's
so true. I have a fellow friend reached out to me over a year ago and helped me get started. He's gotten started into mentorships and all of that. I said, cool. Come to these meetups. He came and, like you said, stopped for 6 months. Then come back. What can I do to get restarted? I'm like, you've already started. Why don't you just stay consistent and finish? So, of course, I helped him out, held his hand for a little bit. But I always tell him, like, I can't walk the walk for you. I'll help you walk the walk. But you got to keep going. You can't just, like you said, stop for a year, then come back. You'll forget everything you've learned. Everything.
100%.
And for the wholesalers that listen, your cash buyer is not your cash buyer. He's your partner. Partner up with them. One thing I learned when I was wholesaling, I shadow my cash buyers. I know how to estimate rehabs in like 3 minutes, just looking at pictures. When I sold a deal to my cash buyer, I said, hey, Carlos, for example, my first buyer, Carlos, can I come by and shadow you, see how the project is going? Sure. They never say no. You bring them deals. But what I'm doing is I have a paper in my hand and a pen, old school. Don't bring your laptop or anything like this. It's not right to look at your phone or your laptop while you're talking to somebody. That's just morals, having manners when you're talking to somebody. I know the new generation we're in or the new society, everything is in the phone, but let's just focus more on learning rather than just punching buttons. I'm walking. You can always write down and talk to somebody. They will never feel disrespected. They'll never be.
So true.
It's just how it is,
Yeah.
But once I start looking at my phone, you will feel that as if you're not important. You're like, hey, Raqi, I kind of want to have a talk with you, but you look at your phone. You don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm writing down the date we first spoke because it's important to me with a couple of hearts. But it just doesn't seem like this to anybody, right?
Right.
So I shadowed Carlos. I walked in. I know how the property was because I took the pictures. I walked the property. And even if you're doing it virtually, you can always talk to them. So Carlos, I see the kitchen's top dollar. How much did that cost you? Write it down. Oh, nice bathroom. How much did that cost you? Write it down. Oh, you moved the wall. What was the demo like? What was moving the electrical? Did you have to have a permit? Did you have to have this? Write down. Shadow somebody. That lesson right there, you cannot pay $3 million for. It just doesn't come. So get out there, learn, talk to people, and enjoy the journey. If you're local, you're doing it locally. Partner up with hard money lenders, because a lot of people are struggling with proof of funds. They were like, well, I'm a wholesaler. They're not going to give me proof of fund because I'm not going to bring the deal. Correct. But guess what you're going to do? You bring the deal to the hard money lender who has clients, investors. Hey, Carlos, you got this guy, Raqi, he's a deal finder. He's got a deal. Carlos is going to want to take a look at it because that's what he does. Then the hard money lender will give me proof of fund for whatever I need from now on. Now, not only I get a relationship with hard money lenders for my future reference, but I also have clients that they will buy my deals.
Very good. That's a good insight.
That's brilliant. Getting cash buyers from your hard money lenders. That's interesting. Yeah, it's noteworthy.
I can go over how I generate leads when I started. If you want to do that,
dude. If you've got the time and yeah, we've got it for sure. I'd love to hear that.
I'm all eyes and ears, man. I'm all about helping others. Very important is get loud. That's how you find me, right?
Absolutely.
Get loud. Your name is the greatest brand you'll ever have. Get loud about your business. Make it known. Get out there. Tell people what you do. Don't be shy. Number one tip, do not create a different Facebook page. Please don't. Use the same page you have. You have like 800 followers, 8,000 followers. It doesn't matter. Once you create a new page and you add me, I'm not adding you. It's just so many scammers nowadays. And also the lessons from that is you want everybody to know what you're doing. You want everybody to know that you're committed. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And it's very important because it comes handy later on. Like, it just amazing. Let people know. You will get so many leads from friends and family on Facebook. Like, hey, I see you're doing real estate. I saw this property. Cool. Please send me the address. I don't need anything else. Send me the address, please. And I'll pay you for thinking of me as a thank you. I've paid so much, but I made so much more from people bringing me leads. Literally, a supervisor at my workplace brought me a lead. And we closed, and I gave him a check for $1,000 as a thank you. All he did is just type down the address and send it to me in a text. That's it. Lead generation. This is gonna hit hard. Did you know that you can close deals with your mailman?
No.
Nobody sees vacant properties more than the mailman.
Absolutely.
Talk to them. First two conversations is like wait for them when they come here. Hey, how's it going? Hope you have a nice day. Let it go. Second day you see him. Hey, I was wondering, just want to introduce myself really quick. My name, and you don't need a script for this. It comes naturally once you start doing it. My name is Raqi. I'm an investor here in Atlanta market, in Metro Atlanta. And I was wondering if you see some vacant properties, I would love to see the addresses. And if I close, you have my word. I will give you check for $1,000 or maybe cash if you prefer cash. They never report it, so they don't have to worry about it, right? And I give them the 4 things I'm looking for. I was like, how do you know a vacant property? Well, first, they do know that sometimes there's paper in the mailbox that says vacant or just mail just falling off. I was like, second is like if you see tall grass, broken windows, bad roofs, bite siding, broken down cars in the driveway, they're just dusty right now. Just write down the address. I don't need nothing else. I'll do all the skip tracing. And then if I close, I'll give you $1,000 as a thank you. And you will be surprised how much deals you can close with your mailman. He gets to see literally every neighborhood for 8 hours. It's mad.
It's really smart.
And
very
of course,
smart.
with your Amazon drivers, FedEx, but the mailman gets to see everything because he stops at every stop. They don't have a specific address. They see everything. You can close so much deals with them. And
So what's your what's your tip on the other end then in terms of finding buyers? I mean, what's a tried and true method? If you just had to give one strategy, you don't have to go into detail on all different ones, but one strategy that you think works best for you in terms of finding buyers.
And finding buyers, you're brand new, you land a deal. What are you gonna have to do first? You gotta comp it, right? You find this comp, fully renovated, just got sold 2 months ago. You call that listing agent. Scroll down. It's on Zillow. Scroll down. Yep. Take the name, put it in Google. Hey, Susan, I noticed that you closed a deal. Congratulations, first of all. I'm an investor and I got this lead on my table. I am in no position to take on. Do you think your client who renovate this house would be interested? Cash buyers love investing in the same neighborhood, same areas. They know the inspectors. They know the counties. They know everything. They have the contractors that did the work. They know the Home Depot guy that brings everything. It's crazy. They will love that. So talk to Susan. Susan will refer you. What's good for Susan is that, hey, you can make an agreement with your client that you can still list the property when it's done. And also, Susan, since me being an investor here, sometimes I get leads that are rent ready or like they don't need work. Do you mind if I send them over to you? Maybe you could list them. You just call the people. Dude, she'll be so happy. She'll be sending you properties.
For sure.
That's my number one tip. That's the best tip. That's how I find my buyers, really.
Very nice.
That is, to me, it's one of the most underrated methods of finding buyers. A lot of people will reach out to us because we do a lot of dispo in Florida. And so we've got, a bunch of act teams that'll reach out to us. And every now and again, someone will be like, man, how'd you, what do you guys do to find your buyers? Especially, so every now and again, someone will send us a lead in a small town that's not in a major market, and we tell people all the time, hey, send us your Florida deals. It doesn't have to be in, Orlando or Jacksonville, whatever. Like send us Titusville, send us your leads because we know how to find buyers. And that's exactly one of our methods. It's just going and looking at investor activity and then reaching out to that agent. And, not only do you could potentially connect with a new buyer, you now have a relationship with an agent who will send you more deals, and
100%. And especially if you get across a lead that it's not a cash deal, you send it to them, you will make the best relationship. You'll make them happy forever.
Absolutely.
Tanner, you got any more questions for Raqi before we land this plane?
No, man. I mean, I feel like you've made a lot of good quality points, not only for advice, but in terms of mindset, in terms of how you kind of view everything and how your day looks and, working from the heart, essentially, that's gold. You don't hear a lot of people that say that. They say they're ethical and they say they want to do things right, but they still are using their brain. They're not using your heart. So I respected you for saying that. And if you're using your heart, obviously you're going to be someone that's easy to work with. So I highly recommend anyone reach out. If you're in the Atlanta area, if you're in the Georgia area, or you just want someone to talk to, definitely reach out for sure.
Raqi, where are you doing deals at, man? How can people connect with you?
I'm in Georgia in general, really. I used to be in specific market, but now I'm all over because the deals are just everywhere. Reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. I can give you my cell phone number if needed. I don't mind people text me. I mean, I'll talk to
absolutely, man. Throw it out there.
Yes, it's 404-988-4115. Text me anything you need. If you like Tanner say, if you just need somebody to talk to, I'm your guy. If you got a deal you need to sell, I'm your guy. If you need anything, help with anything, I'm your guy.
Awesome, brother. And for any that are driving or listening or not watching, we will have this info in the show notes, so don't worry about it. Drive safe. We got his phone number. You're good. But dude, before we let you go, thank you, bro, so much for your time, for your selflessness, for your energy, for your insight, for everything, bro. Like you've gone through one hell of a journey to be able to share this, because there's someone out there who's going to listen to this and it's going to be the thing that gets them over the hump. There's probably something that you said that's going to change someone's life generationally. And bro, I thank you for that. Like, my gosh, thank you so much. So
I really hope so. That's the goal here. And I truly appreciate you guys coming out here and put it out there for those who are listening. It's very important that sometimes you connect with people. You don't even need to know them. You don't even need to be face to face. You just connect with them. And my goal is to make sure that I do one thing for somebody that'll change their lives forever. And I don't even want them to know me. I don't even want them to call me or anything like this. I just want to make a difference for themselves, for their kids, for their parents, for generation wealth, because I think it's our job, from the bottom of my heart, it's our job to ensure that every generation we're in, we just got to make it better. And how we do that, we got to plant the seeds in our kids, and the same seeds will be planted in our grandkids, and so on.
Absolutely. Bro, in closing, I love to ask this one question. It's a tough one, but I think that given your life experience, I think you'll probably have one of the more profound answers. But Raqi, I want to ask you, what is your current message to the world?
Be kind. It's okay to fall down. It's okay to get beat down. Just don't stay there. Get up, do your best, even if there is no hand offered to you. Do your best, and do me a favor. When you do your best, don't keep going forward without looking back. Look back, offer a hand, help a brother out, help a sister out. Like I said, make a difference, and don't get recognition for it. Don't do that. Do it from the bottom of your heart. Don't take a picture of you helping a homeless guy, give him food and all that. Just do it from the bottom. It will come back. I promise you. I promise you.
So good.
Yes,
brother. Again, thank you so much for your time. And I cannot wait to have you back on for another episode, just to see where your business is at, see where we're at. And brother, God bless you. Guys, connect with Raqi. He obviously, you know, he knows this stuff. And he is deeply connected. Trust me. We're actually working on a deal right now, potential deal. So, but yeah, guys, connect with Raqi, and I hope everyone has an amazing day. And signing off to these shows is always awkward. Tanner and I were just talking the other day, like, how do we sign off of these things? We're still new, so we're figuring this out. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for checking out another episode, and stay tuned. We got more people. We got more awesomeness coming up. But nonetheless, guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Peace.
Peace.
What up, guys? Thank you for watching or listening to another episode. And look, here's the deal. If you got value out of today's episode, we kindly ask that you subscribe and like and get this bad boy going. And look, if you're in Florida, we're in Florida. That's our marketplace, and we want to help your deals get to the finish line. So if you got any deals that need help with dispo, send us an email. We're at deals@unwindinvestments.com. You can also submit it via our property submission form online at unwindinvestments.com/deals. And guys, we want you to be the next guest on our show. So get out there and hustle and grind, and let's get to work. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace.